Hello and welcome to Storytime. My name's Josh. Thank you so much for being here. Hope you're excited and ready, as I always am, to read stories. I love it. This is going to be Disney's Beauty and the Beast today. You know this story? Yeah? Some know? Well, get ready. Get comfortable, because we're about to delve into story time. If you like reading these stories, please click that bell below, click the subscribe button, and you can come to the page and read stories with me whenever you like. Okay, let's get into this story. Disney Beauty and the Beast, adapted by Teddy Slater, illustrated by Rick Gonzalez and Ron Diaz. Okay. Once upon a time there lived a young prince in a beautiful castle. Although he had everything his heart desired, the prince was spoiled and selfish. One winter's night, an old beggar woman asked the prince for shelter from the cold. In return, she offered him a rose. Repulsed by the old woman, the unkind prince turned her away. The woman warned him not to be deceived by appearances, since beauty is found within. When the prince dismissed her again, the old woman's ugliness melted away to reveal a beautiful enchantress. The prince tried to apologize, but it was too late. The enchantress knew there was no love in his heart. It's a bit mean. That's not very nice. Hey, gotta be kind to everyone. Never judge a book by its cover. Because what's in the pages is what matters, right? Yeah. As punishment, the enchantress turned the prince into a hideous beast. Then she placed a spell on the castle and all who lived there. The rose she had offered him was an enchanted rose. It would bloom until the prince was 21. If he could learn to love and be loved in return before the last petal fell, then the spell would be broken. If not, he would remain a beast forever. Ashamed of his monstrous form, the beast hid inside the castle. A magic mirror was his only window to the outside world. As the years passed, he fell into despair. Slowly the rose began to wither. He did not believe anyone could ever love him. His beast claws being turned into a beast there. In a nearby village there lived a beautiful young woman named Belle. Belle, unlike the other girls in the village, cared only for her books. She always felt out of place. Belle loved to read about adventure and romance. Her father Maurice loved books too. Maurice was an inventor, a genius according to Belle, a crackpot according to the townsfolk. Belle is even stranger than her father, the villagers whispered. Her nose is always in a book, and her head is in the clouds. Gaston, the handsomest man in town, wanted to make Belle his wife, even though she thought he was a brainless brute, and turned him down again and again. Gaston was determined to wed the lovely Belle. Gaston's not a very nice guy. One cold day, Maurice hitched his horse Philippe to a wagon and set off to show his latest invention at a faraway fair. But Maurice read the map wrong and became lost in a forest. As an icy wind whistled through the trees, he suddenly heard the howling of wolves. Philippe bolted, and Maurice fell to the ground, trying to escape the wolves. The frightened man ran deeper and deeper into the woods. Like he's being chased by wolves here. That would be scary. He came to a castle and stumbled inside. There he was greeted by Mrs. Potts the teapot, Cogsworth the clock, and Lumiere the candelabrum. Another word for candle. He's just a candle. Who had all been servants to the prince. But before he had time to marvel over these strange creatures, an even stranger one appeared. The beast. When Maurice stared in horror, the beast howled angrily. Then he swooped Maurice up and carried him off to a dungeon. Oh, so Maurice has now been captured at the beast's castle. And these were all people once as well, but now they've been turned into a teapot, a candle, and a little clock. Meanwhile, Philippe had made his way back home. Belle took one look at the riderless horse and knew something awful had happened to her father. Philippe, take me to him, she cried. Leaping onto the horse's saddle without a pause, Philippe thundered off towards the woods. Gosh, I hope they can find him, eh? When they reached the castle, Belle burst inside and searched frantically for her father. The enchanted objects led her to the dungeon. But just as she found Maurice, the beast appeared. Belle let out a terrified gasp at the sight of the hideous creature. She begged the beast to free her father. When he refused, she bravely offered to take Maurice's place. "No, Belle," Maurice cried, but the beast agreed to the exchange. Uh-oh. It's in there, being all angry and beast-like. Before Belle could bid her father goodbye, the beast led her to her room. "The castle is now your home," he said gruffly. Belle was free to go anywhere she liked, except the west wing. "You will join me for dinner," the beast ordered. "That's not a request." Still Belle refused, and the beast stomped off in anger. He's not being very nice. Why would you want to have dinner? Being a mean, foul beast. That night, Belle slipped out of her room and found her way to the forbidden west wing. There she saw the enchanted rose by the window. When she reached out to touch it, the beast suddenly appeared on the balcony outside the window. Belle screamed and fled off to the room. She found the rose. You remember, it's the rose where the last petal, if it falls off and he hasn't found love, he will be a beast forever, because it's a special magic rose. Her heart pounding, Belle ran out of the castle, mounted Philippe, and galloped off into the night. But a pack of wolves soon had them surrounded. Belle was helpless. Suddenly the beast was there, throwing the wolves aside. Belle heard terrible snarling and howling as the beast and the wolves battled for their lives. The last of the wolves ran off into the woods, but the beast lay in the snow, badly injured. So he fought off all the wolves for Belle to save her life. The wolves are mean. Back at the castle, Belle carefully tended to the beast's wounds. Gentle as she was, the beast roared in agony. "I barely touched you," said Belle. Then she saw the look of pain on his face. "I forgot to thank you for saving my life," she said softly. The beast only grunted in reply, but when Belle turned away, a hint of a smile appeared on his face. So he was happy. Probably the first smile he's had in a long time. In the days that followed, the beast tried to be a proper host. He showed Belle his library, and she began to teach him how to act like a gentleman. "Perhaps it isn't too late," Cogsworth whispered to Mrs. Potts and her son, Chip the teacup. If Belle could only love the beast, this dreadful spell might yet be broken. Before long, Belle thought of the beast as her dearest friend, and the beast thought of little but the beautiful Belle. One night, while she was teaching him to dance, the beast asked, "Belle, are you happy here with me?" "Yes," she said without hesitation, but the beast saw a trace of sadness in her eyes. Then Belle added, "If only I could see my father again, even for a minute." "You can," the beast said. Handing her the magic mirror, Belle gazed into it and saw Maurice trudging through the forest. He looked frail and old. As she watched, he collapsed in a heap. "I must go to him," Belle cried. "He might be dying." "I release you," the beast said sadly. "But take the mirror, then you will always have a way to look back and remember me." So he's being nice, he's letting her go, because her father's in danger. With the magic mirror to guide her, Belle soon found her father and brought him home. But their happy reunion was cut short by a pounding on their cottage door. The townspeople had come to take Maurice away. Gaston's friend, Le Fou, stepped forward. "Maurice has been raving that you were imprisoned by a hideous beast," he said. "Only a crazy man would tell such a tale." The townspeople don't really like Belle. "But it's true," Belle protested. Her worried eyes searched the angry crowd and fell on Gaston. "Gaston," she cried, "you know my father isn't crazy. Tell them." Gaston whispered to Belle that he might be able to calm the crowd if she promised to marry him. "Never," Belle exclaimed. "And my father is not crazy. There really is a beast, and I can prove it." She turned to the crowd. "Look in this mirror and see." The townspeople looked at the beast in the magic mirror and grew frightened. "We must hunt down this savage animal," Gaston cried. "It's not a savage animal, is it?" It's the prince. He's just trying to learn to be nice. After locking Belle and her father in a cellar of the cottage, the villagers rode off to storm the beast's castle. Luckily, Chip had stowed away in Belle's saddlebag. After the villagers were gone, he used Maurice's latest invention to release Belle and Maurice from the cellar. By the time Belle reached the castle, the townspeople had broken in. Gaston and the beast were fighting on the castle roof. The beast managed to knock Gaston's weapon from his hand. There was nothing to stop him from killing Gaston. Gaston screamed for mercy, and the beast turned away from his enemy. Then Belle watched helplessly as Gaston plunged a knife into the beast's back. The beast roared in pain. Backing away from the wounded beast, Gaston lost his footing and fell off the roof into the fog below. Belle rushed to the beast's side. "You came back," the beast said, weakly. "At least I can see you one last time." "No, no," Belle said, sobbing as she kissed his cheek. "Please don't die. I love you." So there's the love. Hopefully it's enough to save the day. Or it looks like it might be. At that moment, the spell was broken. In one magical instant, the beast turned back into a prince, and the enchanted servants returned to their human forms. The castle came to life with rejoicing. There was no doubt that the loving couple would live happily ever after. It's them now. The prince not a beast anymore, and Belle. And look, so he was the clock, the candle, and the teacup. But now they're back to normal. The spell is no more. That's all the time we have for today. I go out of book words and I can't even get my words right. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the story today. If you like these stories, please subscribe, click that bell below, and you can read stories on my page whenever you like. Okay, bye for now, but not forever. Have a great day or night wherever you are. Stay positive and have fun. Bye.